Hey guys, so when I was in Prince Edward Island, Canada, I decided to do a range test with the DJI Mavic Mini 2. There would be no interference from metallic objects, buildings, houses, because there's an ocean right there in front of me, and also because the landscape was so beautiful. So I set off, I launched my drone, kept going out to the middle of the ocean for 2 kilometers. I kept going and going, and the connection was not fading, so I realized that maybe I would never lose connection. Maybe it meant that the range was 5 kilometers, and that the only reason why I normally lose connection is because of interference. So then, I decided to stop, and I realized that without interference, the DJI Mavic Mini 2's range is incredible. And that's it. But wait. That's not the whole story. In reality, I flew it out there and I had it going for maybe a few minutes, so pretty far, about 1 kilometer. And then I thought, oh shoot, I didn't screen record the distance. I want the viewers to be able to see how far away it is at each given moment. So then I turned around, flew all the way back, stopped, and then I turned back around, flew all the way back out to the ocean, went out 2 kilometers. That's when I realized that the connection probably wasn't going to be lost. And then I figured out I had a serious battery issue. So after I made the big mistake of turning around, not changing the battery, and then flying back out 2 kilometers, I saw that the battery's at about 45 to 50%. And then I started to have some nervous feelings. And rightfully. It wasn't fully formed yet, but I thought that it was getting a little bit too far out, and I strangely wasn't losing the connection. I had actually underestimated the strength of the DJI Mavic Mini 2. So then I turned around, I started to hightail it out of there. And going out, I think that the speed was about 15 to 20 meters per second. Because it was in sport mode, I wanted to do things as fast as possible. And then I was coming back and it was taking a while. I got to about 1,500 meters away. And I saw that the speed had decreased to about 12 meters per second. The battery at that point was at about 40%, and then I thought, why is it getting slower? And then I readjusted my angle so that I was going at a different trajectory towards the land, because I thought that there might be a cross breeze that was slowing down the drone, that when it was going away, it was blowing in its favor. So then it kept going, and I was starting to get really nervous. And from the moment that I turned it around when it was 2 kilometers away, I realized how far the drone was and how hopeless it would be if the worst thing possible could happen. So I keep going, and then I realized that the speed was going down because the battery was running out and it couldn't keep up that high pace without running out very quickly. So then I started to panic. I stopped recording. I started yelling, and then it got to 1 kilometer away, and the speed shrank down to about 9 meters per second. And the battery was at 30%, meaning it said that it wanted to return it to home soon because the battery would run out. And this is when I started looking around to see if there were any fishing boats that I could land it on, because I didn't think I could get it back in time. And I saw that there weren't. There was nothing in sight. The nearest thing was land, and it was 1 kilometer away. So then I kept flying the drone, even though it was really starting to slow down. And as it got closer, it started slowing down more and more. And the more it started slowing down, and the faster that the battery ran out, which it did, by the way, the harder that my heart would beat, the more adrenaline that I would get, the more that I began to sweat. This was absolutely insane. I wondered why I was such an idiot, and why I would put my drone in a situation like this. It got closer, and I was about 500 meters away from the cliff. but the battery was down to around 15%, and I started thinking, oh my goodness, this is either going to come down to the end of it or it's going to fall into the water. I was thinking of that the whole time, but it was getting closer. I was freaking out more and more as the seconds passed. And it kept going, getting slower and slower. But it's just such a sinking feeling that you need it to go faster, and then it's getting slower as the battery's running out faster. So I yelled some more, lost it some more, thought that I should get the Seahawk 2 to go out, but then I realized there was no time, and also I would probably die if I tried to do that, so I didn't. I just kept it going, and kept it going, and then the inevitable happened. It kept going and got closer to the cliff, baby! So eventually it got super, super slow, but somehow it just kept going. And it reached 10%, and then 5%, and it got closer and closer and slower, and it tried to return to home automatically, but I hit cancel, and it kept going. Thank God. Kept going slowly, and then at last, it got within swimming range, then it got within beach range, then it started going over the rocks, and then over the cliff where I was, and then I lowered it all the way down, landed it, and it reached 3% battery. Based on the total life of the battery, I had about 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds of flying left. That means that if I waited just 20 more seconds to turn back around, that my drone probably would have ended up in the water. So guys, this was an incredibly lucky situation that I was in. I can't believe it happened, but if I didn't turn that thing around, if I waited, kept it going, kept the experiment going, I probably would have lost my drone. What I didn't realize at the time was that the experiment made no sense. I shouldn't have flown it out over the water. Who knows what could have happened. I should have done it over the cliffs because there would have been a similar lack of interference, especially with the drone's height as it got further away. So what I can learn from this, don't be stupid, I guess. And also that the technology of these drones are absolutely incredible. And thank God their battery life lasts so long. But then again, if it didn't last so long, I probably wouldn't have done this experiment. Oh well. So, the DJI Mavic Mini 2 is so good. Maybe the one thing I can learn from this that I can actually do in the moment right now, other than what I can do for the future situations to avoid, such as flying it out over the ocean for 2 kilometers, is to write my name and phone number on top of this. Because if there was a fishing boat, I doubt I would have tried to land this on it, but there was a chance I might have. And if I had my phone number on this, I probably definitely would have. Because I got really close to losing this drone. One of the worst parts of this is that, remember when I said that I turned the drone around when it was a kilometer away and came all the way back so that I could screen record the phone so that you guys could see the exact distance and battery life and connection as it got far away? Well, through the whole thing, at the end, I clicked stop screen recording, and it said, you don't have enough space on your phone. This will delete automatically. You're welcome. So I didn't even get that screen recording footage that I risked my drone for.